welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica. Along with me, we have Marcus Johnson. He's the host of an upcoming IBD Awareness Event. IBD stands for Irritable Bowel Disease. Now, just hearing that alone, I know it may make some of you a little uncomfortable, but we have a Crohn's warrior who's here to tell us that it's nothing to be ashamed to talk about. But I guarantee when that happened, it was probably just a lot of emotions going through you when you were diagnosed with Crohn's.
Yes, yes.
Can you
Yes,
take
it
us
was.
along that journey, how you got the diagnosis?
Well, it started back in like 2012. I was actually diagnosed in 2019. I had been going back and forth to different doctors, and they had been kind of saying that maybe it was food poisoning at some point, or that I need to watch my diet, or what have you. But along that, the symptoms got worse and worse and worse, and it became more frequent to the point where I had to go into the hospital, going into renal failure, kidneys shutting down, heart doing what it was doing. And going into ICU in the course of 1 year, I'd been in the ICU maybe like five times in the ICU, 8 times hospitalized for like weeks at a time. And finally, I was admitted into a hospital, and a doctor, a gastro specialist, came in by the name of Sun Win. He came in and he asked me what my symptoms were, and he basically said, I think you have Crohn's disease. And me, I'm not knowing really what Crohn's was, or not really familiar about it. And I kind of explained to him that I had been going to doctors, and he kind of explained to me that a lot of doctors aren't educated on Crohn's. And when they see it, they normally, I wouldn't really say misdiagnose it, but because they don't know,
Right.
and because they don't know, of course, we as patients, we're not going to
You
know.
don't know what to diagnose yourself with.
Right.
And is this relatively kind of a new disease? I've kind of heard of it during my lifetime. A friend of mine thought she was diagnosed with Crohn's, and I think doctors misdiagnosed her. She found out later it wasn't.
And I can't say that it is really a new disease,
Okay.
but like I said, I don't think a lot of doctors are actually educated
Got
on it,
it.
because it's not something that you see every day. You know what I'm saying? Being in the South and the way we eat our foods,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? It kind of could mess with your digestive system,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I was gonna say, take me back. I mean, you're a relatively young man. Like what kind of lifestyle were you leading before that?
pretty active. I middle school baseball coach, musician, full-time job. I mean, doing a lot of stuff in the community. And when I got diagnosed, of course, it kind of altered a lot of things, because I couldn't do a lot of things that I would do, because Crohn's is also an autoimmune disease. So basically, anything autoimmune, it comes on when it feels like it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I had to kind of watch where I go because of a flare, because I could be talking to you right now, and the next minute I could have a flare and I have to go. And with my case, I have a severe case, so when I have a flare, the doctor has advised me I need to get to the hospital, because I don't go from 0 to 12 to 13, I go from 0 to 1,000.
Wow. And with that, I think that's why it's so, it's only right that you have an event like the awareness event, because like you said, not many people know this. So you have this event. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, basically, it's a Crohn's awareness event, and we want to bring awareness to the community of this disease. Someone may be having symptoms that we may be having, but simply don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And because they're going to doctors, and the doctors aren't educated, of course, they're not going to be educated, like I said before. So seeking the proper help, because early detection with anything is always key.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want anyone to have to go through the things that I went through. If they can detect it early, they can start treating it and get the proper treatment for it, because of course it's no cure for Crohn's disease.
Right. And this is quite serious. I mean, you said you can go from pretty much 0 to 100 in no time, if
Right.
that were the case. And how often do you go to, see your specialist?
I see my specialist maybe once a month, because I also take treatments for Crohn's. I take treatments every 4 weeks for Crohn's, and we're praying for remission.
Yes.
That's always the key. But I see him very frequently. We pretty much on a first name basis.
Yeah.
He can call me. I can call him on his phone, on his personal phone, and say, hey, you going fishing today? We're on a first name basis.
Yes.
But he's a really good guy, and he's very educated. Because I do my research. When he was referred to me, I did my research on him, and I found out that he's one of the top in the country.
Now that in itself is to be commended. I'm glad you do. That's me. I'm a comment card queen. If I give a review, I
Right.
give a testimony.
Right.
So I think it's important because it
Right.
is your health. It's
Right.
your
It's your
health.
health.
It's your life, and you
It's your
have a
life.
family.
Right.
Speaking of your family, I mean, how did they take it? I mean, you went 7 years undiagnosed, but we're going to take a short break.
Okay.
Hold that thought. We'll take a short break because I know that's a long time to have
Yes.
to, in your mind, what's going on with my body? What am I doing?
Yes.
And we'll also meet another young lady who's going to be your co-host. We'll meet her later in the show, and I can't wait to hear her story and
Yes,
to be able
yes.
to share her story with
Yes.
our audience. So come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast with yours truly. Welcome back. My guest is Marcus Johnson, who is the host of the IBD Awareness Event, which is coming up this Saturday. We want you guys to be there because it's really about awareness. And to go through what you've gone through, I think this is a perfect opportunity for folks who are unaware of what's going on with their body, don't know, and even doctors who may not be able to diagnose them properly. So, hats off to you for putting on this event along with your co-host, who we'll meet a little bit later in the show. Tell me about how this affected your family.
Well, with my family is pretty much close knit, and a lot of family demographics. When a family member is hurting, most of the family is hurting, and that was the case with me. They saw me going through things in constant pain daily, going through in and out the hospital and stuff, and it affected them because they didn't want to see me hurt. And being the person that I am, I'm always a go-getter and go and get it and doing different things, and they saw, kind of like it started to kind of take a toll on me. And they really didn't know what to do. Of course, they pray because I have a praying family. They praying for me, but it's like they want to just take that pain away from me.
Yeah.
So it was many days they sit there and they cried like, we can see you hurting, but you're still going. But they sitting there crying because we know that you're not okay.
Right.
And then for them to see me actually going to doctors and doctors not really knowing what's going on and going in and out the hospital and stuff, and doctors still not diagnosing me with what I have, it's like something has to happen.
Right.
You know?
And I know there's many people that have gone through similar situations. Do you know any statistics of how many people this affects in maybe the United States or maybe even the world?
As of now, it's 26 million Americans that have been diagnosed, have an active diagnosis at this point in America.
Right, that's
Yes.
quite a lot. And then, of course, there's some who have not been diagnosed, who don't know.
Like I said, like in my case, I went 7 years without being diagnosed. So you can only imagine how many others are out there who are suffering, because they haven't been either misdiagnosed or haven't gotten a diagnosis at all. And may I add, we don't go to the doctor.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And you have to go to the doctor. And that was another one of my flaws because I was constantly going, neglecting my body, thinking it was this. So it's always key to go to the doctor. I don't care if you have an itch, go to the doctor and get yourself checked.
Oh, yeah.
Because my pastor always say, I know we all have to go home one day, but I don't think anybody's homesick.
Don't you go ahead and start preaching up here now. Okay, now. I love it. This event is also going to have a guest speaker. You're hosting it, and you also have a co-host. Are you going to be serving as the guest speaker?
No, I'm not the guest speaker, but
Okay.
my gastrologist who diagnosed me, Dr. Sun Winters, he would be at this event, and he's going to do a little talking on Crohn's and trying to educate.
Right.
On Crohn's disease, and IBD period.
Right,
right.
And I know you said that this is also it's just an uncomfortable topic. So you're going to offer maybe some opportunity for some one-on-one conversation with the doctor, and maybe even with yourself, maybe
Right.
be able to
They could-
kind of give some information.
Look, I'm an open book. My co-host is an open book, and now it wasn't always easy to get to this point because it's something uncomfortable to talk about. But at this point, if we can help one, if we can help one.
Yes. Now there's a website that's attached to this. You're seeking donations to. What will the donations
The
be
donation
used
will go towards the Crohn's Foundation to help in a cure for Crohn's, because as of now, there's no active cure for Crohn's. So what we're seeking, donations to go towards the foundation to help in the research of a cure for Crohn's disease.
Awesome. Now this does target, the gastrointestinal tract. What kind of medication, and what does the medication do for that?
Myself, I take what you call infusion treatments. I take it every 4 weeks. And what it does is it kind of slows down the process and kind of help you deal with it in long term and try to go into remission, but you don't have to deal with Crohn's disease anymore or what have you for some period of time. So basically that's what a medication for. Some people take oral medication. You know, there's different types of treatments that you can take for Crohn's.
And lastly, and I hate to ask this, but I want to ask it, when you use the words like remission, is Crohn's considered a cancer?
It can actually turn into full-blown cancer. Let me say that,
gotcha.
because you can have like colorectal cancer, that type of stuff. It can do that. Yeah.
But we are definitely rooting for you and hoping that you have a great turnout coming up Saturday. And we're going to now take an opportunity to meet your co-host. She'll be up here to tell us more about her story. We thank you very much for your time. And as always, make sure you guys subscribe to us on Facebook. We are KWBJ TV 22. Come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, I am your host, Danica Long. With me, we have Marquita Wiggins, who is the co-host of the IBD Awareness Event, which is coming up tomorrow, Saturday. It's going to be in Franklin along the Bayou Teche, and it's going to be an outdoor event, but it'll be under a pavilion, so make sure to attend, especially for those of you who are unaware of that some of the issues that may be going on with your gastrointestinal tract may be causing you some issues in your life. But this young lady, I want to talk more about her story with Crohn's. And you're a very young lady. Yes, you're only 28 years old, and I want to know how did you get started? What was your journey like?
When I was born, I had a lot of bowel issues, and of course, you know, they said your diet, hereditary. And I went to Franklin Foundation one day for another issue, and Dr. Tessie looked at my file. And she was like, it looks like you have Crohn's. So she sent me, I got tests. And at the age of 8, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease.
Wow. So you too have been dealing with this for like 7 years.
I've been dealing with it for 20.
For 20, well 20 I mean prior to being,
yes ma'am,
yes.
7. Yes,
so
ma'am.
that seems to be kind of like the number.
Yes ma'am.
Wow, and so young.
Yes ma'am.
But I guess for you at least you had a doctor who kind of was able to diagnose it fairly quickly?
She saw the signs and she told my mom to bring me to specialists. I saw a couple of specialists. At that time, they had no clue what it was.
Yeah.
Because of my age, a lot of specialists did not want to touch me. So I went through so many, and finally someone was able to recognize what it was.
Yeah. Now, is this hereditary? Is it something that can be found, you know, in the DNA?
They say it's hereditary, but my parents were tested and nothing came back. But I think it might be.
Yeah. Now, do you have any siblings? And
I have a brother.
Had any issues with this as well?
He had the symptoms, but he grew out of it when he got older.
Yeah. So how are you dealing with this? I mean, you said 20 years. It's a long time. It's almost like being on a job and you just do you know what to do? You know how to handle it? You know, tell us about it.
At this point, it's become the norm for me because I've dealt with it so long. I've been through so much, but now it's nothing. It's like it's nothing to a giant. It's something small.
Yeah, and someone who doesn't know what's going on, you would be the perfect advocate to kind of, you know, hold their hand through this. Would you say that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So tell us about getting involved with this, getting involved with the event. Both of you from Franklin, practically family,
yes,
not even knowing that you both deal with this. And I asked him to give me the statistics, and he's like 26 million Americans, and you guys are from the same area, the same town, same city.
Yes,
like, that's why I think this is important. I mean, you know, we don't know one in how many, but to say that you guys come from the same area,
yes, ma'am.
I'm sure there's so many other people who, at least, who are looking at this saying, I need to be there because I don't know. So how did that happen where you guys were able to link up?
A couple of years ago, I did something for Crohn's Awareness Week, and I found out that Marcus had it, so I did some certificates. And then as the years have come, God placed it on his heart to do this event, and he reached out to me.
Awesome. So being a part of this event, I mean, how does it make you feel being able to kind of bring awareness to people?
I'm excited because dealing with Crohn's for so long, this has always been something that I saw would happen, to bring awareness. A lot of people don't know, and we just need to bring awareness so it can be known, so it won't be a blind eye. You know, people won't turn a blind eye to it because it's now time to bring awareness.
Let's talk about something we talked about prior to this, the shame that's associated with this and how hard it is for folks to have this conversation.
So it took me a long time to tell my story. A couple of years ago, I just started putting it on Facebook. Every time I would be in the hospital or I have surgeries, my mom, my brother, my husband, they would put it on Facebook for prayers. But I decided if I can put the moment of my bad times on social media, I might as well put my testimony. So I started just making posts. Anytime an anniversary of a surgery came up, I posted it.
Yeah. And has it reached anybody? Has anyone said, oh, I have that, and have you connected with other individuals?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. I definitely want to talk a little bit more about your journey. We'll take a short break. Come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast. Welcome back. My second guest for this evening is Marquita Wiggins, and she is the co-host of the IBD Awareness Event, which is coming up Saturday. It's going to be in Franklin along the Bayou Teche under a pavilion. So with that said, let's make sure folks are coming prepared. There's also going to be a walk, so you can come with lawn chairs, but most of it's going to be kind of a standing room. It's going to be a short program, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and come in comfortable clothing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I guarantee it's probably going to be hot. So I tell you, make sure you have on some comfortable shorts or something to kind of keep yourself cool. Let's talk about your family.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned about a husband. So how did he handle this?
He has been supportive throughout the whole thing. There's guys that ask him, why are you with her? And he tells them he loves me. I prayed for a husband like him, and God blessed me.
Who in the world? Girl, point him out. Who said
Yes.
that? That's a shame. But tell us about your story. I love it. I thought it was great. You met him in 2012.
Yes, ma'am. I met him. I've known him for a long time. We connected in 2012. In January of 2013, we made it official. I decided that I wanted to let him know what my situation was so he can have the chance to decide if that was something he wanted to continue with or not.
Yeah. And he said yes.
Yes, ma'am.
He said, I do twice.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. All right. How many people do you expect to be in attendance? I mean, because it's not just for folks who are unaware. It's for, if you have Crohn's, you want to come out and socialize, network, right? How many people do you expect to be in attendance?
We're expecting 200 to 300, but if we have 150, if we have 5, if we have 10, as long as we're able to reach someone.
Yeah.
That's what matters the most.
Yeah. And I love community. I think when someone is going through, they understand you, you're like, I'm not alone. So this is a perfect opportunity to come meet someone else who may have a similar journey, who may have something that, you're like, you understand me, because I guarantee, I know your family, they love you, but they don't necessarily know, right? They can offer some empathy, but when you have someone who's going through, they really, truly can say, been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. So that is awesome. Again, let's put up the website. Tell us about Quita's journey, the donation site here.
So there's a foundation. It's called Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America. That is the foundation that works so hard for cures. They also work to make sure we are covered with insurance. There's kids that have Crohn's too, so they do a lot of events to keep us aware, keep us intact with everyone. So that is the website where you can donate, and it goes straight to the foundation.
And speaking of the kids having this, so I remember a long time ago, and since I know that it attacks targets the gastrointestinal tract, there's something called like a colostomy bag, and is that something that you deal with, know about?
Yes, ma'am. So in 2007, I received a colostomy bag, but in 2019, I had a total colectomy where the rest of my colon was removed, and now I have an ileostomy.
And like when I remember this from long years ago, but I'm sure with technological advances, like no one even knows you have it on.
No one knows.
Yeah.
No one.
So, I mean, like you said, you're a soldier, a warrior, excuse me.
Yes,
You're a
I am.
warrior in this, and that's what you guys call yourselves, Crohn's warriors.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
know, dealing with this, I mean, are you able to lead just a, a normal, active life?
Yes, ma'am. At first, I wasn't because I was afraid of what other people would say. In high school, I was afraid, but I had a great group of friends that
Yes.
supported me. So now it's easy. When you deal with something for so long, you learn how to live with it, you learn how to adapt.
Yeah, yeah. Now, are there babies? Are there children? Do you have children?
No, ma'am.
Okay. May I ask, this doesn't affect that?
No, ma'am, it
Okay.
doesn't. No, ma'am.
All right. All right. One last time, let's kind of show that information. Again, the IBD Awareness Event, it's going to be Saturday. It's going to be along the Bayou Teche. And we just expect everyone to come out there, even if you don't know what it is. If you just want to be a little more aware of what's going on out there. They're expecting 200 people, so you might see all these people say, what's going on? Well, go on out there. That's what it's about. Thank you very much. Thank you to Marcus for being here, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Make sure to subscribe to us. We are KWBJ TV 22 on Facebook, but also we have a YouTube, KWBJ Live. Take care. See you next time.